other teams go through too much, and AG's just providing that in spades right now.
Well, Jonathan, we've got some predictions going on here. What have we got from Johnny? Give us the predictions.
Magic for pure damage done. That's a toughie. I want to say Narman, of course, player with the most observer rewards by 15. Varish probably dropping those bombs. How long will the game be? 30 to 37, perhaps. Number of tiny avalanche toss. 7 to 13 to 18. Finally, normal hero Varish. Oh, risky.
Varish, he's feeling spicy today, isn't he? That's me.
That he is. Mr. Rizky. Just having a little bit too fun. I mean, they are good friends. They've been playing together against these teams in Div 2 for a long, long time now. You know, they've got Narman, who bridges the gap between the Mongolian team of Lilgun and himself and them. You know, they're bridging the cultures together, Mike.
Yeah. You love to see that, Jonathan. See how this all pans out. I love the old techie set there from Narman as well, by the way. Very, very pretty. I believe that's the Halloween one, if I'm not incorrect in saying so, but I'm not 100% sure, John. I only recently started playing this hero. But yeah, just watch for the sticky bomb. It's just so much damage. It's kind of ridiculous how much damage it deals. So we are going to get into it. 2 for 2 trade on the bounty runes. Let's start off with the mid lane this time around. You're going to have Sanctity there on the Ember. He's going to be up against Azura on that mid Morphling. We've seen both these heroes from both these players multiple times. Sanctity, he plays a very mean Ember. Azura, he plays a very mean Morphling. Who wins the hero matchup, though, John?
I feel like it's a little bit easier for Sanctity. You just have some good ways to dodge after right clicks. Azura is ranged, but his range isn't that great. So he's always wood-in Flame Guard. He's always going to be easy to get caught in the Sleight of Fist. And Sanctity should just be able to find the CS he wants. For Azura, at the least, CSing and denying for him isn't as tough once he has level 2 attribute shift. Doesn't feel as scary in the lane, and he does have some mobility if he goes for value point and waveform to control Water Rune and perhaps even Power Rune. So that is something Azura has in spades. I think the big thing for him is his support rotations look pretty damn good. If Narman or Varish can make their way over there at 6 minutes, you can line yourself up for a nice kill.
Absolutely. How about those side lanes? Bottom lane, a bit of action breaking up? No, not quite. 11 and Kishka, of course, going to be there against DB and Varish. This is a pretty strong lane, I would argue, here from Lilgun. Obviously, 11 with the Visage to get that Soul Assumption up, which he does have at level 1. It's a hell of a lot of damage. Of course, 300 damage at level 1 if you get it maxed out with the charges. Kishka, he doesn't have Icarus Dive right now. Kishka, Stroke of Fate is there. This might be first blood for DB again, and he does find it. Second game in a row where DB picks up first blood. That's a massive win for AG.
Now you're just managing to really punish that Phoenix for its early level. It's like Fire Spirits, it's great. It's a massive cooldown at level 1 once you expend all those spirits. And if you don't land him on DB to slow down his farm, he doesn't mind. He actually goes for level 1 time dilation for the slow, for the aggression here. So if you did manage to deal some damage back from 11, DB would be pretty much out of the lane. Now he gets level 2 and he's fine. Like, the one thing with Visage Phoenix, if you don't play aggressive, it does feel like Visage doesn't get what it wants. Like, it absolutely wants to keep trading. It wants heroes to drop low. It wants to keep throwing out the Soul Assumption and getting the Brave Chill right clicks. If you don't, then, well, the farm lane will definitely just favor DB every time.
Top lane 423 has to start being careful. His HP pool, no, he'll be fine. They'll start climbing. You're about to hit that level 2 mark, and there you go. Narman has it now. With the HP pools of Lilgun, they probably will just wait a little bit longer. But you really can't afford to be caught with half HP at this top lane if you are the heroes of Lilgun. Because you are just going to melt immediately if they catch you up. There's a sticky bomb. Wommy, he wants to try right now. Avalanche is going to stop them though. Ace 12, ensuring he doesn't cop all that damage.
And Ace Health is having a pretty good time farming up. 43 is having a good time farming up. Ace 12 is doing a great job of just cutting him off. So he's ensuring he's got the avalanche ready. If he does see someone fly up, he can interrupt, prevent the final landing, and kind of ensure that 43 just keeps this farm game up. It's pretty passive. Once level 3 is up, you should get more activity up there. It's Narman who's copying a lot of hits right now, so they'll try.
Ace 12, gonna get caught by the Dispose. Sticky bomb's there. It shouldn't be enough, but it's a fair bit of damage. In fact, Wommy, he'll keep chasing with the sidekick, and they do find it. Narman, he'll go for a run, try to escape the grasp of 423. Though 423 continues the chase, eventually might just have it, and does. So you do find a trade here. You'd still argue more worthwhile for the side of AG as they do get the pick up first on the old Marcy.
Yeah, it's still pretty alright for 423 solo EXP for him to find. So he does get to ramp up a little bit more, and he's got a lot of low HP heroes on the map. Varish just kind of a bit too low, providing some nice turret bonuses for 423 to work the lane. And Azura's been having to juggle around his HP, although he's having a bit of a good time mid now. Slightly ahead of Sanctity, although Sanctity does seem to really want rune control here, but not going to be able to find both runes. Doesn't manage to get the right-click trick and Sleight of Fist, not quite close enough. So overall, strong start once more here for the side of Army Geniuses. Like, they've got these strong lanes coming out. Maybe the top lane's not as dominant as I think you and I expected, but it's still certainly applying a lot of pressure in comparison to how much DB is being slowed down by 11. Because DB is slowing down, but so is 11. Neither of them are farming all too well. Whereas top, they are just putting a little bit of a dent on 423, or at least preventing him from trying to be aggressive with his tiny combination.
Yeah. Azura gonna be just fine for now. The Ember still trying to get aggressive, but he can just strength morph and be just fine. Sanctity really trying to dominate this lane against the Morphling, but Azura still keeping up very nicely. In fact, just currently ahead. Sanctity still trying to chip away, but doesn't have the damage output. Bottom lane's been rather quiet as well in the meantime. DB not really suffering too much on the Void. His CS a little bit slower than you'd like, but it's kind of expected against the Visage. Meanwhile, top lane, a bit of action breaking out. Ace 12 was jumped once again by Naaman. Though never mind, he never popped the blast off. It was just the sticky bomb and the jump in from the Marcy with the rebound. So they still hold on to the blast off for their next attempt, and they might go very, very soon. Luckily, 423 does have raindrop, so he's blocking off a lot of this magic damage. Ace 12 is the target you're going to want to go on, and he's very aggressively positioned. Sticky bomb's there, Ace 12, I'm not sure about this. Blast off is out, rebound is down, and they got him. That's a very aggressive position from our support Tiny.
Yeah, just looking for the Avalanche toss-out, perhaps, linking into that Blood Right, and just gets a little bit too aggressive in the position. Is punished nicely on the side of AG again. They're not quite stopping 423 from farming, but they are making this lane a lane where they're finding kills, a lane where they're still able to get good EXP going, slowing down the Tiny's timings, which is actually pretty big. It does feel like every time you see that support Tiny, you need to have a good timing on the blink. You want to be able to just initiate for your team, and it's going to take a while for Ace 12 in this game.
Tishka's got Icarus dive. He should be okay. DB's got literally no bashes. Stroke of Fate, still no bashes. Still no bashes.
No.
That's 8 hits. 9 hits.
No.
9 hits,
Yeah.
not 1 bash. How does that work?
12% chance, basically 0 for a lot of people. Sometimes you wonder, why do I even waste the skill point in this time lock
Jump
if it
in.
never procs?
Nice rebound. Is going to save the day. 423, unable to finish off the kill. I agree with you on that point, by the way, Jonathan. It's not 17%. You know, it's only 12.
No. It's not the 17%. Even then, the 17% only works on enemy teams, so it never works on your own teammates. It is the way it works, unfortunately.
Oh, raindrops on cooldown. 423, Blood Right's there. It'll buy him a bit of time. The silence, it does connect the techies. Ran back in. The Blood Right will save the day for 423. He's going to be all right for now.
He's still managing to work this lane well. Once he does have Rupture, I feel like that's the point where getting that same play is not going to happen.
Rotation, misses the sticky bomb. 11, he's going to be fine due to that. Very, very close call. Nice attempt from Naaman to try and rotate, but if you miss the sticky bomb, you're probably not going to find the kill. Meanwhile, top lane, Wami, he cops the Rupture. 423, starting with the voice lines, has the hand up, does secure his kill, and well, for now, 423, top of the CS board, having a great old time.
Yeah, just hits level 6. He sees the rotation down bot. They know they've got the angle to get that kill on Lilgun's end. They find a good kill. They get some really good forward wards as well. Triangle all warded up now. So they've got good vision as to where AG might want to play. Azura's actually switching onto the top lane itself, trying to get some farm going. You are really just going all in on the Bloodseeker right now. The majority of that gold is on 43, and it does feel worthwhile.
Ace 12 Sets up Narman. Getting caught out mid lane will drop. Nice pick up there for Sanctity. He didn't pop in the double damage rune just to make sure he does secure the kill. This tier 1 tower, it's taking quite a bit of damage. Sanctity, able to get half its HP removed just with this double damage rune. No siege creep necessary. Zura, he will be forced to rotate back and try to defend this.
Yeah, gonna have to try to stop. Like the mid tier 1 gonna be key for AG to try to get that build up.
4 heroes. 4 heroes into the mid lane, apparently. They really want the tier 1 mid, and, well, to be fair, AG do need access to their jungle. So they do have a farmier kind of lineup here. And it's going to go down. Lilgun, they get away with this.
Yeah, that's a big take. Now they can just invade triangle, invade the forward part of the bot jungle, cut off any farm sources for DB, which is tricky. I mean, they still haven't been able to play with the Inkswell too much down bot. Like, they still have the Chrono ready on DB, but it's not like he has damage. He is working towards Midas, and his timing does look pretty decent as long as he's not cut off here. So the build-up is still there, but we can start to see what AG needs to get done. Like, they've got a Void, they've got a Morphling. Both of these heroes will need farm, and the rest of AG will have to kind of buy that space with Narman, Varish, and kind of Wami just making plays around the map if they can.
DB's still got Chrono here down at the spot lane, but Sanctity has rotated over on the Ember, so Varish, he's in trouble. Sunray is going to take care of it. DB unable to help out, now being swarmed by the side of Lilgun. It does have help incoming, and the Chrono is going to be committed onto 2. They'll take down the Phoenix first. Kishka's gone. Rotations are in. Wami, he'll make the jump in onto 11. Ace 12 going to be around to help out with a very nice avalanche, and DB's gone. He doesn't get the time walk. Still, they will continue punishing. As Ace 12 barely survives for now. Azura still on the chase, but the Stoneform there on the birds, and Ace 12 still hiding. Waveform not going to connect, but it shouldn't matter in the end. Still these jukes. Ace 12 really breaking them ankles there for a second, but eventually will drop. A 2-for-2 trade.
Yeah, it's a little bit awkward for the side of AG. Losing DB, again, is pretty painful. He's trying to go into the Midas. He just wants to be able to farm. Does get a good Chrono, at the least, and one of the kills did go to him, so it kind of compensates for any losses you might take. Still trying to be aggressive, and you've got this early timing now on 11. Vlad's up, going into the Wraith pack, although rebound.
Yeah, rebound with the Inkswell. A lot of damage here to the Visage. Good way of getting through the Gravekeepers, and 11. He's going to go down. 4-2-3, though, has rotated. Wami, he'll cop the Rupture. No real way out of this, so 4-2-3. Have a nice, easy trade on his hands. Hands up once again, by the way, is Azura. Gonna try and run. Jules being thrown out in the meantime. Sanctity, he'll jump in with the Sleight of Fist. Narman, oh, he set up the trap. He set up the trap with the proximity mines. The Ember couldn't react in time, and now Azura gonna turn right back around. We'll ignore Kishka. Onto 4-2-3. They've got the Bloodseeker.
Oh my
They've
God.
got the Phoenix. Ace 12. He's gonna try to run, but tips her out. Azura really saving the day here for AG. Ace 12, he'll run, but there's no running. Back into the tree line. Wami will take that one. 4 down for the side of Lilgun. In fact, it was a full team wipe. All 5 went down on that bot team fight, and John, that's off the back of the Ember going down to the techies.
Yeah, I mean, Narman just baits him in, hits his level 6, drops the prox mines. You kind of go all in. It's a very foggy area. There's some sneaky areas to put those proximity mines. And Lilgun just kind of overextend. This is them just trying to play fast. They feel like they're pressured to play a lot quicker, especially in comparison to game number 1, where their lineup was supposed to go fast and they just took it slower.
Look at this, look at this. Mine's out. There's 2 right there. Boom, boom. See you later. Sanctity. You have a great point there, John. Like, in that tree line, if you can bait them in, there's no way they get the mines in time before they pop.
Strength of techies, and they might find Sanctity again.
Yeah, the Ember.
Oh my God.
It's the genius of the techies pick, because you're going to have Blast off to silence, and to make matters worse, once he has the shards, he'll have the stun as well. So it's really hard for this Ember if he gets caught out like that. Meanwhile, bottom lane, 11's going to drop. So another kill to go the way of Army Geniuses. But with this Blast off Inkswell combo, it's just so disgusting to have to try and play into.
And there are multiple combinations with Inkswell. Rebound Inkswell. If you've got even just the Void Time Walk Inkswell. There's a lot of ways for AG to actually just keep running forward. And just the beauty of having that in the support duo is that means your cores can just farm up. Your cores aren't committing. They don't have to die for any of these attempts. It's fairly low risk for the side of AG. If Narman dies on the blast off Inkswell, you really don't mind. It's a techie support. He's doing his job. You're allowing your Void and Morphling to farm. Lilgun, they're going for a smoke play out here.
Here we go. They'll try. They will find the techies at the very least. So Narman might just drop a no. The Soulbind is there. They're going to try and fight back. And now the double rebound in the mine as well. Onto the Ember. He's silenced up. In comes Azura. There goes Sanctity. Ace 12 and Sanctity both down. As now the Phoenix going to try and TP up. And the stun's going to be there from Azura. No. Oh, no, no, no.
Oh, no.
It feels so much worse because you're trying to kill techies, John. And you give 3 heroes away for it.
Yeah, they commit so much just to kill off Narman. Still managed to get some good... He got one prox mine off with a Dispo's back. Like, that was so much damage flying out. It set them up here on the side of Army Genius to take that fight. They might lose DB down bot, though. So they do find a trade-off here from Lilgun, getting some aggression down bot and clearing out the spot tier 1. But I don't think AG minds too much. They've kind of put a big stop to Sanctity. This is a very poor Ember, bottom net worth right now. Isn't too far behind Wami, so all things considered, not the worst thing in the world, but you definitely need more to flow into that. Meanwhile, the two other cores of AG, Azura and DB, are finding good farm. They are still behind 4-2-3, but the Morphling and the Void have not been completely stopped, and that's the concern. Because as this game goes on, the scaling from the Faceless Void and the Morphling just skyrockets. And for you on Lilgun's end, you are mainly relying on the Bloodseeker. Maybe down the line, the Ember. It's going to have that impact with Ags, Blink, BKB, Refresh. But that takes a little bit more farm into the late game.
Yeah, certainly does. That's the thing as the Bloodseeker. Like, you get caught in Chrono. If the Morphling's outside of that Chrono hitting you, and Azura does have a Dragon Lance to try and help do that, you're going to be in big trouble. So 4-2-3... very careful with his own positioning on this Bloodseeker. He cannot afford to get caught out in these team fights. As they are hanging around mid lane here. 4-2-3. Gonna back towards the right side into the Radiant jungle once again here, Lilgun. Trying to set up for something. Sanctity will try to bait in the mid lane. AG not going to take that bait. So AG understand, if they can just delay this game out, eventually they will start outscaling them. In fact, it feels like they've already started to anyway, but you get my point. The Bloodseeker is very strong right now. 4-2-3 has the full Mjolnir up, working on towards the BKB. He wants to fight, but they aren't giving the opportunity over.
They're just kind of picking and choosing on Army Genius's end. If it's not something they start themselves, they're not going to take it. They know Lilgun still got a lot of damage and a lot of power left in them. They've got this Wraith Pack timing on 11 that can cut off their damage in these wider fights as well. So you don't force it. You just go back to farming, you go back to building up. You are getting, again, very good scaling out. You've got some good wards to watch the top jungle here while you farm in this area for Wami. Very well protected. The side of Lilgun just kind of playing towards the bot area here as well, which only Narman's really kind of occupying right now, so you don't really mind too much. The side of Lilgun, and this is time for them to build up as well. Like the BKB for Sanctity's coming up next. That's going to be a big one to save him. But you do worry about DB. Like, again, there's nothing to stop an effective Chrono in this game.
4-man smoke. Oh, he's going to break the smoke for Ish. Great position there. Is just going to break it. They don't know. They don't see him either. Varish actually gets out. Oh, that hurts so much.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of feel bad for Lilgun there. And now a 4-man smoke up. AG. Where are they going? In the river for now. Wards down. Chains out from Sanctity. He'll spot them out. Rebound is there. Wami looking for a target. Will jump in onto Sanctity. Does get ruptured up, but Wami, he has the unleash. He's happy to go for the fight as Azura. He'll waveform in as well. 4-2-3 being chased down. Ace 12 in trouble. There's your Soulbind. There's your blast off Narman. He connects on 2 heroes. This is not looking like a good team fight at all, but DB, he's going to drop. They lost the Void. No Chrono to come out. Lilgun, they're able to fight back. Where was the chrono? You've got to ask the question.
They were too clumped up. Like, all of AG was just on top of the key targets. I think DB was just waiting for them to back off first so they could get some damage into the chrono. But they couldn't. They got burned up. Chain control was out from 11. They got good damage flying out as well. The Blood Rite was perfect. And all of the procs coming out from Mjolnir and Maelstrom was just a little bit too much with the right clicks coming out. Softened up already, especially for Wami when he was ruptured up. He just couldn't commit to kind of help set up there. And Lilgun does find a good fight under their belt. They get the Aegis off the back of it. They've got a secondary life up for 4-2-3. And now they're ready to play aggressive. Azura has to watch himself.
Azura, he'll get chained up. This could be a great start here for the comeback of Lilgun as they stun him up permanently and the Morphling's gone. Here we go, Lilgun. Find their footing in this game, number 1. 2k advantage, in fact, make that 3 now. Oh, and AG, they're off to such a strong start. But now you have a bit of a spike for Lilgun with the Bloodseeker, with the Visage. Gonna be very, very cautious now as AG. Not to misplay too many times like that. You are still looking to try and force this to the late game. But Lilgun, they want no such thing to happen.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, they've
They've
just got to keep playing to their pace. Get that push going. There's no counterplay yet, although.
Soulbind is... Oh, they found the Bloodseeker.
Oh.
That's the Aegis gone. Dispose is there. That'll be 11 gone. That's a lot of oh my god, Wami, stop it. Wami, stop it. My god, 4-2-3's gone. What is this hero, man? It's not fair. Like, we've got Hajime no Ippo here, John. Well, Wami, he's cosplaying boxers. Mike Tyson. Or Marcy
Yeah.
Tyson.
Marcy Tyson it is. I mean, that's just a Marcy with 2 bracers, a BKB, and phase boots. And I think at some point the sidekick actually ran out, so he was just going off Unleash purely.
Oh, God
that's
forbid.
2 lives. He just took away Aegis plus a second life, just like that. 1 hero plus an Inkswell. That's all you needed. Who needs any more?
Yikes.
Marcy's so good.
So good. You love to see it. Power of anime, John. You can't lose when you've got the power of anime on your side. AG, they're going to smoke up as 2. Varish and Narman. Support duo. Moving up to Sanctity, who does Remnant back towards his team. He's going to be alright. Instead of AG, they'll take back the Dire jungle for themselves. Lilgun. Lost that net worth lead they just gained, but they are going to go for a 5-man smoke up. Keep in mind, they do have Chrono up. We haven't seen the greatest of Chronos yet, and Narman, he's going to break the smoke immediately, get some mines down before he does die, but can they actually get him? Narman, he's on the run.
What?
He's going to make it out. Azura, he'll make the jump back in. Kishka, he gets taken down before the egg comes out, and now Narman locking down Sanctity in the Chrono. DB, he's found 2 more. Perfect team fight for Army Geniuses. 11's going to drop. There's no surviving, surely. As the egg has been dropped. In fact, never mind the turnaround. Lilgun, off the back of the buyback of the Phoenix. They make it work. It looked impossible to win that fight. But somehow, with the egg right behind them, they make it work. Varish, he's the final piece of the puzzle. He will go down. It'll be a full team wipe the way of Lilgun. How the hell did they do that, John?
I mean, it's the egg, and it's also the buyback of Sanctity. He dips back in, he understands the control is gone, he jumps in with all his remnants, gets a good slide off, and just melts them. AG, a bit too clumped up. I mean, it looked like a good start, but they were punished greatly. And in that time, 4-2-3 was just standing outside. He got a good blood right off in the chrono. He was getting good damage off. He was ignored for the most part, and they didn't have reach onto the backline. So Lilgun managed to execute that fight fairly well. I mean, it does still cost 2 buybacks. Those are pretty big buybacks as well for Sanctity, but it is worthwhile. Brushes him onto the BKB, although a dieback here wouldn't be that good.
Yeah, he's got remnants, he should be alright. In the last team fight, you saw the replay as well, Sanctity. He landed a very nice chains right under the egg. They couldn't escape because they didn't have any BKBs available on the side of AG, and that seemed to be the real game changer in the middle of that team fight. So you can't walk away from the egg and you can't chip away at it. It's a real problem, though AG, knowing the buybacks aren't there now, they do smoke up. They want another team fight for themselves. No Chrono up this time. Though to be fair, it's not like the Chrono really changed the team fight last time around anyway. Down to the bot lane, Lilgun. They're going to show themselves into that bottom tier 2 tower, and they should have it. It's very low in HP. There'll be no defense to come from Army Genius. It will drop. Meanwhile, AG, they've lost the net worth lead again. It's time to get back to farming.
Yeah, just get back to building up. Try to get this BKB going on DB. That's going to fix a lot of issues. The BKB on Sanctity though causes a lot of issues for the side of Army Geniuses, and Lilgun have a big spike with that. Go for a smoke play. They know Chrono is still down, although only for a few more seconds, but they've got a good angle here.
They're going to try up towards the north. They do have the low ground disadvantage though, Lilgun. This could be dangerous in that dire jungle. Azura, he might break the smoke. There are mines around as well to give information away as Varish. He does break the smoke on Sanctity. Silence is there. Sanctity, he'll pop the BKB early. Try to fight back. Azura on the chase. Will get ruptured up, but won't care. He'll go for the man fight instead, and now the blast off is out. 4-2-3. He got the BKB in time. Narman, he's the one on the run. He should be alright. Meanwhile, Azura dropping way too low. He's going to be able to waveform out just in the nick of time, but the chase is going. Azura's in big trouble. Where's this Chrono? It's not out yet. They do at least get Sanctity down, but Azura, he will drop as well. Buyback from Narman, and now that Chrono. DB turns around again. 4-man Chrono's out into the mines. This could be a disaster for Lilgun. They've got to get out of there. They've lost Ace 12. That's the only one they lose so far. The Tiny is going to drop a DB's on the chase 11. Does he get bashed? Where's the bash? Where's the bash? DB, he can't bash to save his life. He never gets a bash this game, John.
No bash, no rebound, no dispose, no nothing. They held on, hoping for some luck, maybe getting cut off in the vision there just a bit as well. And Lilgun does manage to back off, wasting the 3 buybacks of Army Geniuses. The buyback on Azura is a big one to expend here as well. Chrono was nice, but it only really kills him off Tiny for their troubles for the most part, and that's not enough to compensate. Lilgun can be pretty satisfied with themselves, forcing that fight out on the side of AG. Gonna have to temper themselves back a bit. Still a minute until the Roshan shows its timer here, so a little bit more time for Lilgun to kind of regroup. AG, the Chrono, gonna be on cooldown now as well, though you still have that BKB ready for DB. Hasn't used it, still first charge, so they've got some tools to play with here if they want to force something again.
Yeah. Here we go. Here we go again, Lilgun. Not going to start the fight yet. This is such an action-packed game, John. 24-21. We love these kind of DB. Jumps in so aggressively. He has the BKB this time, though. No Chrono to play with, but they want to force the fight anyway. Wami right onto the Bloodseeker. 4-2-3. He's controlled up. He's gone. Sanctity needs to get out of there. He'll remnant back towards the backside, but they've silenced him up on the Ember. Oh, boy. Ace 12. He'll keep running, but there's 3 down without buyback for the side of Lilgun as AG. They smother them. No Chrono necessary.
Oh, man. Like, the bash is coming out as well. The basher on Wami paying dividends, keeping that Ember just locked in place, along with DB finally getting a couple of bashes of his own. Now Lilgun, they kind of lose that small lead they had. The buybacks become worthwhile on Army Geniuses, and that fresh BKB on DB certainly proving its value there. They do dig through the back door. They've got an angle onto the high ground. Roshan, a bit of a longer spawn here. The rest of Army Geniuses are pinging out top, taking the outpost as well. See if they will fully commit. Not going to go for the high ground. So they play it safe. Respawn isn't too far for Lilgun, despite a couple of diebacks there. It is not the longest. We're still very early in this game, 27 minutes in. But you can see just how back and forth this game is. If you look at the graph, it's a roller coaster, Mike. A while ago, I think the win percentage for AG was at 52. At some point, it was much higher for the side of... Actually, no, it's always been AG. Lilgun did have a little bit of the net worth and gold lead, but again, it's just bounced back. It's so much back and forth. Both these teams, very willing to fight, very willing to trade blows, and as you mentioned, they didn't have Chrono last time there, Mike. They've got Chrono back up for DB. BKBs are back up as well. They could fight again.
Yeah. For any people out there betting on this game, I hope you have life insurance based off these graphs that we're looking at. It's could be some heart attacks going on here, John, for some of these people. My God. What a game it has been, game number 2. AG, in we go again. Chrono is up. DB, he's waiting very patiently with the invis room. Lilgun, they do have a sentry in the mid lane. They're ready for this. Observer ward's going to go down. That'll reveal the sentry ward. They'll see Sanctity on the Ember. This is bait. Sanctity does have a BKB, but nothing for the Chrono. DB's still very patient. Oh, come on, they are just still waiting. You don't want to have the Phoenix outside of the Chrono either, because that Sunray is going to make it very hard to burst anyone down. Patience from both sides. Roshan, it's up in 0 seconds now. There it is. The mine will give away that Roshan is available, and there's your immediate smoke. AG, they don't want to waste any time. Again, buybacks are very limited right now. It's only the Void that has one. In fact, never mind, he just bought out. There are no buybacks available in the game at the moment. So you die, you're gone. Go DB, he sees the Ember. Chrono! Oh, it's not gonna happen! Oh, Sanctity outplays him. Toss is there. DB's gonna run. Chains around. Lock two of them down. Who have they got? Narman, he's in trouble on the techies. He'll move in and try to fight back, but he's gonna drop. What a remnant away from Sanctity. I want to say that was on purpose. I want to say he knew.
He just backed off. He was just done farming, figured something was a little bit wrong, gets the timing just right. Maybe he did get the timing just right. There was a little bit of a window where visibility was there. And that's the opening for Roshan. Like, not going to take long to melt that objective. No chrono threat here, no techies to jump.
Marcy's in. Wami, he's going to jump in the waveform forward. The Aegis, Wami's got it! Wami snatches the Aegis away from the grasp of Lilgun. He'll die the first time. Egg will pop. DB jumps in. Kishka, he's the target. Azura, though, locked down, in trouble, stunned up. Can they deal with him? No, they cannot. He's out of there. Meanwhile, Wami, he'll keep man fighting. He'll see Kishka. He can't find him, though. It's still 3 down for AG. Lilgun, they still win the team fight, but they will not get the Aegis.
Yeah, they win out. I think Army Geniuses is happy enough to remove that secondary life. It would have been massive for Lilgun to start onto the high ground, but knowing that certain spells are down, Lilgun gun for it anyway. They've got such a powerful Bloodseeker right now. For AG, DB had such bad luck. He was trying to bash the Phoenix, found no bash. The Sunray just kept going. Like, it's so awkward when you're relying on that disable to stop stuff like the Sunray, which is just doing a lot coming out here from Kishka. They find one set of racks, they're gonna go for another, and AG, it doesn't feel like they're ready to defend. They're TPing back DP now, but the towers just melt.
Oh, they've done such a great job on Lilgun to come back in this game number 2. Excuse me. Zazura gonna rush forward. Wami, he's got the rebound. He's not within range to catch 4-2-3, but he's gonna try for the chase. Lilgun, they do back off successfully. Now 1 racks up, a bottom tier 3 tower going down as well. And 4-2-3, he does have the full Satanic up now in the Bloodseeker. He's going to be much more confident being able to man fight throughout these team fights. And as we've seen, if you don't catch Kishka in the Chrono, that Sunray, it does too much. It does way too much. Suddenly Lilgun, they are 5k ahead, and it's like, what do you do now if you're AG?
Yeah, it's tough. They need to be able to angle themselves back in. They need to be able to use the Chrono to its best ability here from DB. And it's a difficult game to get that done. Like, you honestly don't have the best jump. Like, you are reliant on techies or rebound, which is not exactly the same as, like, the Ember. Smoke out here from Lilgun. They are in low ground. AG need to find a way to make this work.
They need some vision too, but a great blood riot into the jump in from Ace 12. They found 2 already. Wami and Varisha both gone. Narman, he'll be chased as well on the Ember. Trying to slow him down with the traps. Sanctity still going. Narman, blast off towards the south. He's going to make it. Or is he? Soul Assumption. 11's chasing. Chrono's out though. Chains are there. BKB as well. DB. He wants Sanctity. He'll find the Ember onto 11. The Stone Form gonna buy a bit of time. 4-2-3. How can you help right now? Can he even help? 11. He'll try to run, and in fact, he might just make it. Azura not going for the chase. They'll take Sanctity's life, but it's still a 2-for-1 trade. I suppose for AG, finding the mid-Ember is worth it for their trouble right now. They'll be able to defend high ground once again.
Yeah, they stall out the timings of Lilgun, stall out any sort of aggression they might want to have onto that top into another set of racks. So it does cost him Chrono. Fairly long cooldown now to pop from DB, but he does get fairly lucky. He does get good amount of bashes up there, more damage flying out. I feel like damage is starting to be the issue. Like, damage and survivability, but more so in damage, because if DB gets the Chrono out, it just doesn't feel like he's melting any heroes. So maybe you want to kind of double down in that sense, either that or just tank up and drag these fights out further, even playing outside Chrono. Like, you do have the Satanic up in Azura. He's kind of going for that same mindset that we're seeing from 4-2-3. You just want to stay alive. You want to get the hits off. You need to play around your combinations here. If you do get jumped first, we see Lilgun, if they've got that initiation advantage, it just feels so much easier. You catch AG kind of clumped up, not ready to go. You've got the burst to kind of just take them out immediately and not have it.
Sorry, don't mean to interrupt you, John. You look at that graph again, it's still very close between these two teams. It's 47 to 53%. How? Look at this. How's that work?
Wow.
Onto the high ground we go. DB. He'll jump in for a time dilation, but the bot racks is now gone. So Lilgun, 2 racks is up. Happy days for them. I can't believe the game's still this close.
Yeah, I think it's just down to favoring scaling, and it's a Morphling, it's a Faceless Void, it's a Techies who can try to make this game hellish. They will smoke up here on AG's end. They've got to get this initiation right this time around.
Need a big Chrono Nam, and he's going to try with the Inkswell. In fact, it was Wami who had it, but won't be able to find the jump. Lilgun, they seem to know there's a smoke happening right now. They'll wait by the tree line in the mid lane, hoping that AG falls into their trap, but they do not. AG, they are not willing to go up that high ground. You might just want to buy time if you're AG for the next Roshan. Even if your Void is the highest farmed hero on the map, it doesn't seem to translate right now. He needs more. He's got a Mjolnir on the way now. Lincoln Sphere up as well against that Bloodseeker, just trying to make sure he does not get ruptured in the middle of these team fights. But I think you are both just playing for the next Roshan. Even as Lilgun with 2 racks is up, you might not feel safe going a high ground once again until you have that next Aegis up. Scan is there. DB, he'll make a very aggressive jump in, but does press the rewind button. Lilgun just patiently waiting. For now, no jump to be made. Sanctity. Seen this one before. Chrono, he's trying to bait it out. There's a Chrono. Sanctity, he's been caught. The Sunray, it's not doing enough. Sanctity's gone. Kishka in trouble now. As the Ember has no buyback, they're still going to try and turn. Ace 12 is there with a big avalanche and toss combination. They got the Void. Ace 12 finding a great trade for his team. And suddenly it doesn't look as good.
Yeah, it was kind of all in to go onto the Ember. Chrono BKB down from DB. It's a big kill, but everyone else on Lilgun can still kind of achieve what they want on the map without the Ember. They could still look for a bit of a push. They could group around Roshan. They could just keep farming up, keep growing bigger on this Bloodseeker. And you've already got the shard up for 423. Percent-based damage is going to be great, especially against something like the Morphling. I mean, everything's kind of lining up. Like, you do still have this hyper scaling into late game here for the Void, but it is much more reliant on the Chrono more than anything else. And the usage has just not been the most amazing coming out from DB. It's a hard game. Lilgun are much more disciplined this time around to stay declumped, so you aren't landing these big Chronos you'd want. But even Azura, his presence on the Morphling isn't that great. They are TPing out to defend the tier 2. They don't want these outer towers to fall. Lilgun aren't quite pushing the envelope. They do have a nice window though. Like, they know they're playing without the Void, no threat of Chrono. It is an opening for them overall.
It certainly is. Lilgun, they're going to move in, chip away at that top tier 2 tower, and they might just find it. 11 will take care of it with the Familiars. They have some nice observer wards here in that top lane from Lilgun as well on that tree line, but not going to be able to make use of it yet as AG. They're the ones to sit back. Now Kishka, he's got a full Scythe of Vice up. And that Philly Stone he's been holding this whole game has paid off. He's got enough gold for a Scythe of Vice in the Phoenix. If you're the Void or the Morphling, this is a real bad item to have to try and play against now. Once those BKBs wear off, you're in big trouble.
Yeah, it gets really tough. I mean, they're still trying to work onto the Hex coming out here on Narman, but he's still a long way away. He's just been dying a bit too much past the limiting phase. And with that added control, it's becoming so much easier to hold down DB if you don't catch the Phoenix in the Chrono, as DB has not been able to. And if he doesn't immediately just pop the BKB, well, the Hex is just going to ruin your Chrono anyway. It's a really good counter here. And catching out Azura is big. Stopping Wami from just running onto here is also really big. Lilgun, 7k up. They feel in control of this game. They've got really good shots to just go for the Megas or go for the tier 4s. AG can't really spread themselves out as much. They've got Chrono ready here. And you are working onto the Scotty for DB, but again, doesn't feel like he's gotten enough space to really farm that up and share that space with Azura. So the economy is just slowing down by a huge margin, and Lilgun is just free to do what they want. They've got free reign over everything.
7k advantage. It just doesn't seem to matter. 60% win probability now for Lilgun in this game too. I can't believe it's still that close with 2 Raxes up. Gaben, he loves scaling. You mentioned it earlier, Jonathan. The man loves scaling. Lilgun, slowly but surely, are going to have limited scaling here. They are still 2 Raxes ahead though. Objectives win you games. That's all that matters half the time. Speaking of objectives, Roshan 50 seconds away from respawning. That's the big one. Inkswell, DB. Just get in for a quick sentry ward.
Radiant are scanning.
Kill that one off. If they can somehow get the Aegis on AG, it could be the turning point for this game, but Lilgun, all they've got to do is make sure they get it themselves. If they can just deny AG the access to the Roshan pit. Oh, and that's a double damage. Sanctity. Perfect timing. Aegis Roshan, it's about to respawn. 20 seconds away. How does it always happen?
Every game. Roche coming up. Gotta have that DD ready.
Oh.
And Lilgun are kind of in a really good position to get that done. If AG plays it well, they've got the Chrono threat in the Roche pit. So Lilgun can't fully commit into the pit. They can't afford to just clump up and try for Roche. But neither can Army Geniuses, because it's a big danger with how much presence is out from Bloodseeker, from how well Ace-12 has been initiating on the Tiny, and how well Sanctity's been dancing around on that Ember. They do see the Roche dip out. Lilgun knows it spawned up. Army Geniuses, they need so much more farm. It just doesn't feel like your Void is ready to just be that one-man solution to everything yet. Neither is Azura. They've got to execute with their combinations once more, but again, every time, Lilgun just hasn't been allowing them to. Smoke out here, though.
Roshan is up. Double damage was actually expended by the Ember anyway, so you're not going to have that available for the team fight. Sanctity, he does break the smoke DB, thinking about Chrono, but doesn't want to risk it. He cannot afford to miss. He needs a big one this team fight. There's no two ways about it. Roshan, it gets started. This is the third one of the game with the refresher available on it. Refresher shard is what I was meant to say. Is the rupture is there. Wami does get caught out. Remnants forward immediately. Sanctity playing around. Chrono is out. They've got 4-2-3 in the Bloodseeker. He's going to die, but he will have buyback. In they go Narman. He's in with the blast off and the mind's out as well, but Ace-12 is going to catch him on the techies, and eventually they'll hex him up and take him down. He'll have buyback available. He'll pop it immediately. Into the Roshan they go. Lilgun. They want to try and sneak this while the Chrono's down. Roshan, it's dropping low. Are they going to jump in? DB, he tries, but the Aegis is picked up by Lilgun. That's all they needed. With Chrono down now, with the Aegis intact, with the Refresher Shard available on their Ember, this is such a hard, high ground defense to be had for the side of AG.
It's a tough time. Like, they can still kind of stall. Narman can just toss some mines, be disruptive. But you still have the egg ready to go here on Lilgun. You've got 2 lives up on 4-2-3. We haven't seen the damage output of Wami really melting down yet. You do have the E-Blade up. That can be nice. I just don't know if that's enough.
Uh-oh. The Bloodseeker. 4-2-3. He's all right. The Sunray's going to heal him up. Wami, he's the one forced to buy back as Azura. Going for the fight. Needs to focus the egg, but can't do it in time. Needs to back out instead. And will do so. The tier 3 tower under siege. Narman, what can you do with this E-Blade? He needs to blow somebody up. Tier 3 tower's gone. DB, he'd love a Chrono. He's got a Refresher Orb available now on that Void. would rather save it for a double chrono if he can. 45 seconds away from the cooldown of that chrono being available once again. Lilgun, do they keep going?
Dire are
It doesn't
scanning.
seem like it. They took the T3, but they're not willing to risk it. Not yet anyway. They'll wait for the next creep wave at the least. Again, this is buying time for that chrono to be back up. Only 25 seconds away now. Lilgun, they've got the Aegis on 4-2-3. You're going to have to chrono him twice. Again, you still have the problem of Kishka. In they go again. DB gonna move in onto 11 with the BKB out. Is unable to find him because the 4-staff was there, so DB needs to back off. Instead, Sanctity!
Ooh.
Oh boy, Sanctity's down. He has buyback. He might be forced to commit because Wami's on the chase. Bash is out. There's your buyback. They want to retreat now. AG don't want the fight anymore, but Azura, he'll man up. Waveform away. Can he get out though? Yes, he can. He'll TP is now. Sanctity, where are you going? He'll go after Wami. He has not found the mask yet, but eventually does get him. DB, he's down in the void. He is down in the void without buyback. GG. They can't pull it off. Game number 2 gonna go the way of Lilgun. DB ends up dropping. No chronos were thrown out. Oh, Lilgun. What a performance in game number 2. And what a game 2 it was, John. Highly entertaining.
Oh yeah, lots of back and forth there. So many kills on the board as well. I think we ended up with 64 kills in 44 minutes. Lots of action. Lilgun, they play it really patiently, right? Like they hold on, they keep this build up going on 4-2-3, allowed the Bloodseeker to just get really